Hello everyone, heroes of the Connected Realms. Welcome to your essential news update for everything you need to know about MMORPGs and multiplayer universes. From legendary battles to new expansions that refresh our adventures, today we'll explore together the latest updates stirring the virtual lands. Ready your mounts, sharpen your blades, and let's dive into what the studios have in store for us. On the main news agenda, we'll talk about Bellatores, Tower of Fantasy, Soulframe, as well as Warframe, Neverness to Everness, Throne and Liberty, and Guild Wars 2. For the miscellaneous news, I've got Blue Protocol, Star Resonance, Dual Universe, Killer In, Descenders Next, Last Epoch, and Build Order lined up. Of course, if you enjoyed the video, don't hesitate to drop a little thumbs up before you go. It's always appreciated. Now that we know the lineup, it's time, I think, to dive into the news. On July 22nd, Amazon Games shared details about upcoming additions to the MMORPG Throne and Liberty. As a reminder, Throne and Liberty is developed by First Spark Games, a studio owned by NCSoft. The game is available for free on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series. On July 22nd, Amazon Games revealed numerous details about a major update for Throne and Liberty. This update, scheduled for September, will introduce a large amount of new content as well as highly anticipated reworks of existing mechanics. One of the most exciting additions is a brand new weapon, the Orb. This is a ranged magical weapon that allows players to heal allies and apply protective shields to reduce incoming damage. Its unique feature is its independence from mana. Instead, players will need to manage the balance of spheres. A new 24 vs 24 player battlefield will be introduced, featuring a new arena and a conquest mode. Players can participate solo or in teams of up to 6. While the rewards haven't been detailed, they're expected to be valuable and impact character progression. Housing is also on the way. Players will finally be able to own a personal, fully customizable home. To acquire it, they'll need to complete a series of quests introducing the housing features. The publisher also hinted that it may be possible to own multiple homes. The resource gathering system will be expanded with new gathering levels and additional types of materials. As for crafting, the list of craftable items will grow, and a new profession will allow players to create furniture for their homes. A new achievement system will be introduced, covering nearly all in-game activities and sometimes requiring players to replay existing content. Rewards will include cosmetic items and useful resources. A dimensional trial mode will move away from a seasonal system in favor of weekly leaderboards, allowing players to earn more rewards than before. With the addition of affixes for both monsters and players, variety will be enhanced across all difficulty levels. Amazon Games also announced the launch of a Hyper Boost server for new characters, along with bonuses for beginners on existing servers. New character development options will be introduced. Numerous interface improvements are also planned. This is a broad overview of the initial announcements regarding the major September update. It's very likely we'll revisit this update before its release as more details are shared. On the occasion of the TennoCon 2025 event organized by Digital Extremes, we received new information about the game Soulframe. The gameplay excerpts I'm sharing with you come from this event and give us a glimpse of what to expect in the game. As a reminder, Soulframe is the new game in development by the studio behind Warframe. Soulframe is currently in pre-alpha and only accessible on PC. Being in pre-alpha, the game is gradually improving with each update. So don't get stuck like some self-proclaimed video game professionals on impressions from the early days of the pre-alpha. I've noticed, by the way, that some of these so-called professionals are far more lenient with games in the final stages of development than with this one, which is still in its very early stages. Anyway, that's not the point of this video, but know that in the meantime, the game has seen quite a few additions. Soulframe is an action RPG playable solo or in co-op set in a mysterious universe. The game invites players to explore and understand the world around them on their own. Don't expect to be guided from start to finish in your adventure. During TennoCon, the studio announced that players who registered on the official website over the past weekend would gain access to the game. That information is now outdated, but I shared it on my X account. In a gameplay demo, the studio showcased a new mini-boss, the Wasteland Sorcerer, who is the source of the rot at the heart of the Galvanar swamp. We also saw a fight against the boss Bromius, a savage beast in dark underground locations. The area is filled with infected creatures and environmental puzzles. The developers also mentioned an update to the magic-focused combat system, introducing a new parry mechanic capable of deflecting projectiles projectiles back at enemies. Soulframe also continues to further enhance the customization of your gameplay. A variety of build options can be combined, from close combat styles focused on creating space with dodges to ranged damage with well-timed parries to support rolls and other combinations. This progression approach allows players to tailor their character's strengths to their preferred playstyle and complements the group dynamic during various encounters. The studio stated that they've put significant effort into improving combat fluidity and are continuing to work on brand new features, such as social hubs for players, asynchronous messaging via world trees, and many other additions. The studio also revealed the first set of hairstyles that will be available, along with additional customization options to decorate your characters. So, that's the news about Soulframe for this week. For now, I don't have a release date for this new update, but I'll be sure to share it with you once it's announced. The Digital Extremes studio didn't limit itself to discussing Soulframe during TennoCon 2025. The studio's flagship game, Warframe, was of course a key part of the festivities. Warframe is a free-to-play multiplayer game that, to put it simply, lets you play as a kind of space ninja. Yes, the game offers much more than that, but the goal of this news update isn't to present the game in detail. Warframe is available for free on PC, as well as on PlayStation, Xbox and Nintendo Switch consoles, and also on Apple mobile devices. The Android mobile version is in development with a closed beta planned for this fall. During TennoCon, Digital Extremes revealed the next major narrative chapter for Warframe, titled The Old Peace, set to release in 2025. This update will of course be free. The update will also include the side story The Devil's Triad, introducing a new devil-themed Warframe and proto-frames. The narrative chapter for Tau, planned for next year, was also mentioned. With the Old Peace update, the studio invites you to awaken the past to seize the future. It will be an opportunity to explore a fragile period of peace between the sentients and the Orokin. Relive the forgotten history of Tau, a childhood sentient friend named Addis, and the deadly conflict between the Orokin, their creations, and a coalition of Anarch-Dax warriors on the moon of Perita. With the side story The Devil's Triad, you'll discover a new trio of characters: the proto-frame of Harrow, the proto-frame of Wisp, and Uriel, the new devil-themed Warframe. True to their style, the studio will present this in a cinematic format within a story parallel to the Old Peace. A new enemy faction will be introduced, and you'll need to determine who is friend and who is foe during this tense period. The operator version of your character will receive a graphical upgrade, including new facial animations. The studio also announced that a new ultimate ability for the operator will be introduced. Details will be revealed in upcoming dev streams. The Caliban Prime Warframe will be released soon, allowing players to relive the grandeur of the Orokin Empire with new Prime weapons and accessories. I won't go into all the details, but know that the studio discussed Warframe at length, resulting in a wealth of information. Covering every topic would be too long for a short recap. That's why I've included a link to the official summary shared by the studio in the info bar. You can check it out to learn about all the announced updates. Last week I told you about Visions of Eternity, the 6th expansion for the MMORPG Guild Wars 2. ArenaNet had shared the first details about this new expansion. As a reminder, the next expansion for the game is set to release on October 28th this year. Among the various new features announced, we learned that elite specializations would be making a return with this expansion. However, ArenaNet chose not to share details about them at the time. We knew the studio would gradually reveal these new specializations, and now they've delivered. ArenaNet has shared information about the elite specializations for the Mesmer, Ranger, and Guardian classes. We also have a dedicated trailer for this announcement, which I'm sharing with you now. The Mesmer's elite specialization is the Troubadour. As a Troubadour, you draw your strength from music and the stories of Tyria's heroes. Unlike the traditional Mesmer, the Troubadour doesn't summon clones. Instead, Troubadours use illusory musical instruments that create both offensive and defensive effects. The core ability is called Crescendo. This skill enhances all effects applied by your instruments and can turn the tide of battle. As for the Ranger, their new specialization is the Gale Shot. Gale Shots are elite rangers and Tyria's top archers. Thanks to their mastery of nature magic, they can shape and control the wind. This ability manifests in the Cyclone Bow, a weapon capable of wreaking havoc at long range. The Cyclone Bow grows stronger with continued use, culminating in a powerful finishing blow that eliminates enemies. It also comes with nature and bird-related abilities in its arsenal, with some bonuses that enhance pets and boost allies' mobility through animal-themed skills. The Guardian's elite specialization is the Luminary. Luminaries wield an enchanted iron brazier containing a powerful sacred flame. Bearers of this brazier can envelop themselves in this fire and unleash a blazing arsenal of weapons against their enemies while adopting powerful combat stances. These sturdy fighters can deal significant damage or support their allies. This specialization allows you to wield various light and fire-based weapons to adapt to the situation. For example, summoning a hammer boosts your damage, while summoning a staff enhances your healing. On the game's official website, the studio has posted a detailed article about these three new new elite specializations. If you want to learn more, I've included a link to the article in the info bar. I'll talk about Guild Wars 2 again once the studio reveals the next 3 elite specializations. Before wrapping up, a reminder, you'll be able to test all the new elite specializations during a test phase starting on August 20th. Alright, let's catch up on a game that's already generating a lot of buzz. That game is Neverness to Everness, or NTE, the brand new open-world action RPG gacha from Hoda Studio, the creators of Tower of Fantasy. The game can be played solo, but is also set to offer multiplayer features. As a reminder, Neverness to Everness was playable during a test phase from July 3rd to 16th. Unfortunately, I didn't get access to that test. But no worries, I found an article from a Spanish outlet that did get to try the game. Thanks to this article, I can share a summary of the testers' impressions this week to give you a sneak peek. You'll also find the article's link in the info bar. Buckle up because this closed beta gave us a solid glimpse of what could become the next big thing in the genre. First stop, Hetero, a vibrant futuristic metropolis rocked by a mysterious disaster caused by what they call anomalies. As a player, you step into the shoes of an amnesiac hero with special powers, fresh out of prison observation, joining the ranks of the anomaly hunters. From the very first minutes, the game dazzles with spectacular cinematics that leave Tower of Fantasy in the dust. The universe is a clever blend of science fiction and the paranormal. The art direction is simply stunning. Dazzling visual effects, smooth animations, and a city bursting with detail and verticality. This metropolis isn't just a backdrop, it's a living playground that begs you to explore every corner. On the gameplay front, Neverness to Everness stands out with an open world that rivals some blockbusters. Some have even compared it to GTA, and it's easy to see why. In the city, you can steal cars, race through thrilling courses, manage businesses, hunt for hidden items, or tackle special missions. These missions require analyzing recordings to track down the source of the anomalies. While still in early stages during this beta, these activities show massive potential to keep players hooked. A word of caution though, if you play the rebel and rack up crimes, the police won't let you off easy. Pursuits are already in place, though the system feels a bit basic for now. It's a strong start for an open world promising top-tier interactivity. As for combat, the game offers accessible action gameplay with perfect dodges and parries. For now, combos are simple. A basic attack, a special skill, and a visually stunning ultimate. But let's be honest, it lacks a bit of depth to truly shine. Thankfully, customization saves the day with a passive skill selection system and a super original artifact system, based on Tetris-like pieces to strategically boost your characters. This already makes you want to experiment with tons of builds. And of course, we can't talk about a gacha without mentioning the pull system. Good news, Hoda Studio has gone all out to make the game fair and generous. The banners are very player-friendly. For example, on the standard banner, you get to choose your first S-class character, and on the event banner, there's no 50-50 stress. You're guaranteed the featured character after a set number of pulls. Even better, you get an A-class item every 10 pulls, and an S-class character every 90 pulls. The characters ooze charisma, and the shop feels designed to avoid frustrating players. So what's the verdict for this beta? Neverness to Everness has everything it needs to become a serious contender in the gacha world. Its ultra-immersive open world, unique vibe, and captivating characters are major strengths. Yes, the combat and some systems like the police still need polish, but the studio seems to be on the right track. If they keep this momentum and refine the experience, Neverness to Everness could very well be the next big hit in the genre. We'll keep an eye on it until the official launch, but one thing's for sure, the games the city has already won us over and left us hungry for more. This wraps up the summary of the closed beta from the Spanish outlet Zona MMORPG. As a reminder, you can still pre-register on the game's official website. As for the release date, well, it's simple. Hoda Studio hasn't announced it yet. This week I have some exciting news regarding Tower of Fantasy. As a reminder, Tower of Fantasy is a free-to-play multiplayer action RPG with gacha mechanics, available on PC, mobile, and PlayStation consoles. The game is developed by the Chinese studio Hoda and published by Perfect World Games. The information we're about to discuss pertains, for now, to the Chinese version of the game. I say for now because there's a possibility this could also come to our international version of the game. So, what's this news that I find so interesting that I had to share it with you? Well, it's about the upcoming launch of a brand new server in China with a completely new version of the game. This version will offer something that's likely to appeal to some players. All gacha elements will be completely removed. Yes, the mechanic that's often hated and criticized by a vocal portion of the community will be eliminated. Let me clarify again that we're talking about this new version of Tower of Fantasy on a specific server. According to the studio, this decision aims to meet the growing demand from the community for a true animated MMO that combines the strengths of both genres. The studio claims to have thoroughly studied the current state of the gaming market and players' needs, identifying a strong demand for an anime-style MMO with a deep story, vibrant characters, an appealing anime visual style, diverse content, and dynamic player interactions. Among the major changes, this new version of the game will offer weapons entirely for free. The paid system for obtaining weapons and matrices will be scrapped. All base skins for weapons and simulacra will also be provided for free. Additionally, cosmetic items, including premium outfits, costumes, and exclusive mounts, will be available in-game at no cost. There will also be an open trading system. Control over key resources will be returned to players, ensuring fair resource circulation and allowing users to earn gold coins in-game. The new economic system will be built around a trading and auction system, where popular materials and resources can be freely exchanged between players. Trading will include personal, guild, and global auctions. This version will also introduce a seasonal system. The introduction of seasons is designed to fundamentally limit character growth and reduce leveling pressure, providing a consistent sense of progression and allowing new players to catch up to current content more quickly. Equipment will also be updated regularly. New players will automatically scale to the minimum difficulty level in group content, and multiplayer modes will offer more generous rewards, including season-exclusive cosmetics and unique rank titles. Among the new features, there's also a focus on enhanced social interaction. A new guild base will be added to the server, featuring a social hub with various interactive activities. To improve the combat experience in group missions, a new cooperative attack system will be introduced. When certain conditions are met in boss fights, a QTE sequence will activate for the entire team, enabling a powerful combined attack. Of course, if we get a server like this for our version of the game, I'll be sure to share the news with you. Last to July 16th, the studio New, currently developing the MMORPG Bellatores, participated in an interview with the South Korean media outlet Invn. This interview provides us with an opportunity to update our information. Bellatores is a game I first introduced on my French channel in May 2023. As a reminder, the game will be in closed beta from July 30th to August 3rd on Steam. While anyone can sign up on the game's Steam page, this testing phase is primarily aimed at South Korean players. In fact, the only language available during this period will be Korean. Now let's get back to the main topic, the interview between the studio and Invn. Please keep in mind that what I'm about to share are the studio's responses. The studio is promoting its game, so not everything said should be taken at face value. With that clarification out of the way, let's dive into the information shared during the interview. Bellatores focuses on an immersive PC experience. The studio states that it is pursuing its dream of creating a true PC MMORPG rather than chasing profits by developing a cross-platform PC and mobile MMORPG. While a mobile version based on this IP might appear in the future, it's not on the immediate horizon. For now, the studio has no plans for multi-platform or mobile versions. Their goal is to create a top-quality product specifically for PC players. The game is at an advanced stage, with combat systems, progression, and an intuitive interface ready for the closed beta, which will test technical stability and gather player feedback. Set in a realistic medieval universe, the game's world depicts a kingdom in crisis following the king's death, with a tyrannical regent and 5 great houses vying for power. Players will choose a faction, shaping their experience through political intrigue and wars. 3 regions will be explorable during the beta, each with a unique style and territory capture mechanics. Players can follow the main quest as a guide or forge their own path, engaging in kingdom versus kingdom combat or peaceful activities like crafting, farming, or housing management, inspired by games like Arcade. The non-targeting combat system features 12 types of realistic medieval weapons, each with a distinct playstyle. Arcane skills provide powerful strategic abilities acquired through skill books looted from monsters. Weapon progression is flexible, with a skill reset system to encourage experimentation. Equipment obtained solely through crafting or trading relies on random materials and ranks to add suspense. Artifacts found in hidden dungeons allow for deep build customization. Stats like Valor influence both combat and crafting, promoting diverse builds. The closed beta will focus on world exploration, crafting, quests, and combat, with accelerated progression to test both early and advanced content. Dungeons and raids, while present, will take a backseat to open-world exploration and PvP/PvE battles, such as territory wars or faction boss fights involving up to 100 players. The game aims for a balance between PvE, dungeons and bosses, and PvP, faction wars and captures, with cooperation being essential due to limited specializations, as players can master up to 7 professions. The seamless open world will be enriched with dynamic events, secret locations, and eventually weather and day-night cycle interactions. To prevent internal conflicts, the game limits direct resource sharing within guilds and establishes safe zones to counter abusive player killing. Visual customization remains realistic, with medieval mounts and costumes, avoiding overly fantastical elements. Optimized for high performance, achieving 150 frames per second with DLSS on an RTX 4070. The game is also testing support for technologies like FSR3, with planned improvements for FSR4. Initially targeting the Korean market, Bellatores also aims for the West, with future adjustments for a global release. Bellatores seeks to revive the essence of MMORPGs by emphasizing human interaction, cooperation, and fair competition without aggressive monetization. The developers invite players to join the closed beta and share feedback to shape a living, captivating world. Here's a summary of the interview between the studio and the South Korean media outlet Invn, just for you. Of course, this is a promotional exercise, and the final game might fall short of expectations. We'll get a first glimpse of the game's potential during the closed beta at the end of the month. Alright, it's time to dive into our miscellaneous news roundup. In this part of the video, we'll cover various updates on different games, getting straight to the point. To kick things off, let's talk briefly about Blue Protocol Star Resonance. This Chinese version of Blue Protocol is developed by Bokura and published by Plus. The game is available on PC and mobile. It officially launched this month in its home country, China, and the international version is still slated for 2025. As announced last week, registrations for the Blue Protocol Star Resonance test phase are now open. You can sign up for a chance to gain access. Registrations are open until August 14th. To sign up, you'll need to fill out a form available on the game's official Discord server. I've included the link to the official Discord in the info bar, and once you're there, you'll find the registration form in the events section. The start date for this closed beta test hasn't been announced yet. Next up, let's move on to the MMO Dual Universe, a title developed and published by the French studio Novaquark. Dual Universe is a space sandbox MMO released in September 2022 on PC. Despite its many innovative gameplay mechanics and solutions, the project struggled to attract a large audience. As a result, Novaquark announced this week that the official Dual Universe server will shut down on August 27th this year. However, players can still enjoy the standalone version of the game hosted by players. The studio also stated that it's exploring the possibility of transitioning Dual Universe to an open source license. Moving on to Killer In, a game currently in development at Square Enix, this is a social deduction game. According to its description, and I quote, "A body has been discovered and everyone is a suspect. For one night, take part in a unique game blending murder, deception, and deduction. While the game doesn't have a release date yet, it will soon be playable." Square Enix is organizing a closed beta for Killer In from July 26th to July 29th. If you're interested, you can request access on the game's Steam page with the link provided in the info bar. The next piece of news concerns Descenders Next, a game developed by Rage Squid and published by No More Robots. Descenders Next is an extreme sports game. This week's update is that it has officially launched in early access on PC, Xbox consoles, and Game Pass. The game can be played solo, but also offers multiplayer features. According to the studio, the early access phase is expected to last about 2 years. During this time, the studio plans to add more biomes, sports, game modes, and a ton of new customization options for characters and sports gear. If the game piques your interest, I've included a link to its Steam page in the info bar. Let's move on to a quick update about the hack and slash Last Epoch. This week, we learned that the South Korean company Krafton has acquired the North American studio 11th Hour Games, the team behind the popular hack and slash Last Epoch. According to an official statement on Krafton's website, the company has taken a 100% stake in the studio, with the acquisition valued at approximately $96 million. With this deal, Krafton aims to strengthen its position in the global market, expand its franchise portfolio, and support Last Epoch's long-term development. The studio will continue operating with the same team and leadership. In the near future, the studio plans to release Last Epoch on consoles. Krafton has promised full support, including infrastructure, global publishing, and marketing for the game. Finally, let's talk about Build Order, a new game. The Japanese studio Albion has released a brand new trailer for its upcoming game Build Order, which was first announced last year. The trailer was showcased during the 13th Bit Summit Expo, held from July 18th to 20th in Kyoto, Japan. Additionally, the studio launched a teaser website for the game. The catch is, there's no information on the site yet. What we do know is that Build Order is an action and strategy game with an anime style, where players combine combat and base building. You'll need to fend off waves of enemies while constructing your base to gain an edge on the battlefield. The game will also feature a multiplayer mode, allowing you to team up with friends, strategize together, and take on enemy forces. The release date and supported platforms have not yet been announced. And that's it. We've reached the end of this very long news video. I have to say there was quite a lot of information to share this week. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, feel free to show it with a little thumbs up. It's always appreciated. You can also drop a comment if you'd like. Just a heads up, I'll be sharing a video on MMORPG and multiplayer game news every weekend. If you enjoy this content, don't hesitate to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything. Wishing you a great day, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.